Welcome back to Test Review 1.1 to 1.4. This video will cover number 27 to 32. We are going to graph inverse functions. We're going to graph the function and their inverse, and we're also going to graph systems by graphing. So let's take a look at number 27 and 28. 27 is talking about graphing the inverse. Okay. Here I have a function. I have to go find the inverse function, and I'm going to graph both. And this is a great way for you to check to see if your inverse is correct. So if you take a look at the very first one, I have a function f of x equals 4x plus 20. I am going to separate those into so that way it will be easier for me to graph. So my original function is y, or f of x, equals 4x over 5 plus 20 divided by 5 is 4. So my y-intercept is at 4, and my slope is 4 over 5. Keep in mind this is the same thing as negative 4 over negative 5. Okay? Negative over negative is positive. If I start here and I went up 4, I am off the graph, which is actually fine, but I like to stay on the graph and make it easier for me. So I'm going to use this one to graph instead. Negative 4 means I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 5 means I'm going to go left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there I have my 2 points. When I connect these 2 points, notice this is a positive slope. So it's going to work. And I'm going to use a ruler to try to help me graph, so it makes it a lot prettier. Okay? So there's my first line. I'm going to call this one y1, just so you guys can kind of see. Okay? Now I am going to go and find my inverse function. Remember how to find your inverse? You switch your x and your y, and then you solve for y. I'm going to go back to this original one, or you could use this one. It does not really matter. Okay? So since I have this one already formatted easily, I can use this, or you can multiply by 5 and use that. So your choice, does not matter. Okay, I'm going to use this one instead. So I have y equals 4x plus 20 divided by 5. Okay, switch your x and your y. So your y now becomes your x equals 4y plus 20 divided by 5. Next step, solve for y. Divided by 5, inverse of that is times 5. The 5 cancels, so you have 5x is equal to 4y plus 20. Okay. Continue on with your math, solving for y. Subtract 20. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So now you have 4y. Solve for y, divide by 4. Divide by 4. I'm going to separate mine for a reason that makes it a lot easier to graph. And so your final solution is 5x over 4, negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5, is equal to y. Add a negative 1 to know that this is your inverse function. Okay. Now I'm going to graph this line. Intercept is negative 5. Your slope is 5 over 4. Positive 5 means I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Positive 4 means I'm going to go to right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I now have my 2 points to plot my line. Try to be neat, please. Try to draw a straight line. Get a ruler if you need to. Okay? And this one is your y to the negative 1. Now, best way to check, okay? You are switching your x and your y. This is your x and your y line right here. And I'm going to put a dash. This is y equals x. If you will look, do you see how these two are mirror images of each other along this y equals x line? So that tells you you are correct. This is an inverse function of the original, of f of x right here. Okay. And there you have number 27. I'm going to go ahead on number 28 and draw my line, y equals x, just so you guys can see. But this line you don't have to draw. This is just to show you what is taking place. Okay. And this is y equals x line. All right. Here's my original. I'm going to write it as a y equal, and I'm going to separate the two. Negative 1 over 2x divided, negative 1 over 2x minus 5 over 2. So there I have my function. Let's graph. Negative 5 over 2 is the same thing as negative 2.5. Okay? So it's the same as negative 2.5. So I'm going to go negative 2.5, which is right here. And my slope is negative 1 over 2. Now keep in mind this is the same thing as 1 over negative 2. Exactly the same. Doesn't matter which one you use. I am going to use this one instead. So I'm going to go down 1 to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2. You could also go up 1, negative 2, left 2, 1, 2. Okay? So you kind of see what it makes a line. So I'm going to now draw my line. You can cross that line. And here's my original function. I'm going to just call it y, or you can call it h of x. Okay, same thing. All right, now I got to go find my inverse. So let's go find your inverse. Remember to switch your x and your y. I'm going to go back to my original because it makes it a lot easier. So you have y equals negative x minus 5 divided by 2. You're going to switch your x and your y. Y becomes x. Negative y minus 5 divided by 2. Solve for y. Times 2 times 2. That cancels. So now you have 2x equals negative y minus 5. Okay. You're going to add 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. See how the 5 cancels? Now, and then you are going to divide by a negative 1. All of it. Run out of room, so I'm going to continue down here. So, you're going to have negative 2x minus 5 equals y. Add a negative 1 to show that it's an inverse. And there you have your new function, inverse function, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and plot this line. I'm going to do it in blue since this is in blue. So negative 5 right here. Your slope is negative 2 over 1, okay? So I'm going to go down 2, negative 5. I'm going to go, instead of going down 2, I'm going to go up 2, down 1, because it's the same thing. So up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. So you guys can kind of see a pattern. This is the same thing as 2 over negative 1. All these three are exactly the same. Now I'm going to connect my lines, my dots for my lines. Okay, and there I have my inverse function. Notice it's a mirror image along the pink line. That's all I want you guys to be able to see. Okay? Alright, and there you have your function and their inverse. It's a mirror image at the y equals x line. Number 29. Now we are going to solve systems by graphing. That means you have two lines and you're looking for their intersection. So let's take a look. First one. It's already in slope-intercept form, so that makes it real easy to graph. Look at your slopes. Slopes are different. That tells you it's not going to be parallel, okay? So I'm going to call this one y1, just so you guys can kind of see. Positive 4. Your slope is 5 over 1, okay? Now, or it could be negative 5 over negative 1. Reminder that these are exactly the same thing. So instead of going up 5, because I don't have a lot of room, I'm going to use this second one instead. So I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go left 1. And there I have my 2 points to graph. Now I like to plot 3 if at all possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So it's going to be off the graph just a little bit, and that's okay. 2 is all you need, but 3 makes it so much prettier. And don't be stingy with your line. Try to draw through the graph, okay? We're going to call that one y1. The second equation I'm going to call y2, just so you can denote the difference. Now your slope for the second one is negative 3 over 1 or 3 over negative 1. These are equivalent to each other. Y-intercept is at negative 4 here. I'm going to use this one because I want to go up. Going down, I'm going to be off the graph, so I'd rather use this one. So I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3, negative 1, left 1. I'm going to draw another one. I'm going to plot another point. 1, 2, 3, up 1. Okay. You guys see the line being formed? Connect your points. Okay. And this one is our y2 line. And now let's see, where do you see the intersection? They're crossing at that point, and what is the intersection right there? Negative 1, negative 1. What that means is if I plug in x, you're going to get y. Okay? These guys will match up. Just like for the second one, that will work also. So there you have that one. So negative 1, if I plug all those in, it's going to be true. For example, let's look at y1. Negative 1 is your y equals 5 times negative 1 plus 4. Let's see if that's true. Negative 1 is equal to negative 5 plus 4, so negative 1 is equal to negative 1. That is true. See it? Okay. Try it for the second one. Let's do that one in red. So you have negative 1 equals negative 3 times negative 1 minus 4. Okay. Negative 1 is equal to positive 3 minus 4. Do you see why that works? It just means that when I plug in x and y, right here, okay, it's going to work for both of them. Number 30, okay, let's call this one y1, slope-intercept form. I am at 1. Your slope is up 2, 1, 2, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. You can also go down 2, left 3, because remember, a negative over negative is a positive. Connect your points. Sketch your line. Don't be stingy with that line. Try to draw it straight through the graph. And there's your y1. Let's look at y2. Y-intercept's at negative 3. Slope is up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. Okay? Connect your points. And there's your y2. So where did these two lines intersect? At 3 over 3. And there's your intersection. Number 31. Okay? Now, on number 31, it is not in slope-intercept form, so you might want to rewrite it. So I'm going to rewrite this one right here. X plus 2y is equal to negative 4. Rewrite in slope-intercept form. Subtract x, subtract x. That cancels. So you have 2y is equal to negative x minus 4. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Every one of those terms divide by 2. That cancels, so y is equal to negative 1 over 2x minus 2. I'm going to box this in so that way you can kind of see the equation. Alright. Negative 2. Slope is negative 1, positive 2. Negative slope, see it? Or I can go up 1 to the left 2. And there I have my line. We're going to call that one y1, so I will go label that in just a little bit. Let's call this one y1, okay? Just so you can kind of give it a name. Second one, 5x minus 2y is equal to negative 8. Rewrite it in slope-intercept form. Minus 5x minus 5x. Negative 2y is negative 5x minus 8. Divide by negative 2. Just like that. See how that cancels? So y2, I'm going to give it a name, y2, 5 over 2x plus 4. And I'm going to box that one in also. And let's plot that point. Positive 4. Now instead of going up 5, I don't have room, so I'm going to go down 5. I'm going to make these guys negative 5, negative 2. And that might help you graph a little bit better. Negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 2 to the left. Okay? You see how they're connecting already? We're going to call that one y2. And where is that point of intersection? That point of intersection is at negative 2, negative 1. And there's your number 31. Okay? Number 32. Notice this one is also not in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to rework it to put it in slope-intercept form. That is not the only way you can graph. You can find the x-intercept and y-intercept. But sometimes it's the easiest way, depending on the problem. Okay? So you got x minus 3y is equal to 6. Solve for y. Negative 3y equals negative x plus 6. They're not like terms. You can't put them together. Divide by negative 3 every one of these. Y is equal to 1/3 x minus 2. I'm going to call that one y1. Okay, let's plot that. Negative 2, up 1 to the right 3. Up 1 to the right 3. And there's my line. Notice it's a positive, and I'm going up, so that makes sense. Make sure your math makes sense. You can't just take things away and change things. It doesn't work like that. Okay? All right. Your second equation, I'm going to put it down here. Okay? Just like I didn't have room there, I don't have room there either. So I'm going to do it right here. 4x minus 3y is equal to negative 3. Solve for y. Minus 4x minus 4x. So negative 3y is negative 4x minus 3. Divide every one of them by negative 3. So you have y is equal to 4 over 3x plus 1. Call that one y2. That's not a square. That's just me naming it. Okay? Y-intercept's at 1. Your slope is up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Positive 3 to the right 3. There you have your point. Or you can go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left 3. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. We're going to call this one y2. And where did they intercept? They intercept right here. What is that point? Negative 3, negative 3. Okay? And there you have your graphing system and graphing a function and their inverse. Good luck. I will finish the next part in the next video. Thank you.